Welcome to this explainer, everyone. Today we're tearing into the opening scene of The Little Billionaire, specifically Episode 1, The Will of Steel. We're going to dive right in, because this opening, it is an absolute masterclass in how to hook an audience right from the jump. We'll be looking at exactly how a writer can manipulate power dynamics, establish some extreme contrasts, and crank up the tension in a matter of seconds. I mean, think about it. How exactly does a 10-year-old dismantle a hostile corporate takeover in under 60 seconds? It sounds literally impossible, right? But as we're about to see, the script uses a wild blend of jarring contrast and rapidly shifting power dynamics to answer that exact question. Let's look at how the writer pulls this off. Section 1, the unlikely child heir. So we start with the setup, really focusing on how the scene pits our young protagonist against this incredibly cutthroat environment. It's the ultimate show don't tell. Just look at Ethan's appearance. He's literally 10 years old, rocking a basic polo shirt and khakis, clutching a regular old school notebook. He looks completely harmless, right? Like any kid walking home from elementary school. But his reality? He's the majority shareholder of Vanguard Industries. He actually owns the bank, and he's sitting on a secret poised to shake global financial markets. That massive gap between what we see on the surface and what's actually going on underneath, that's exactly where our initial tension comes from. And the script just amplifies that contrast by dropping this ordinary-looking kid into an incredibly intimidating setting. We're not just in a regular office, it's this massive, freezing cold boardroom. Ethan isn't just hanging out with adults, he's completely surrounded by cruel corporate lawyers and greedy relatives who are literally staring down at him. Visually, it instantly makes us fear for the kid. We're hardwired to assume he's the helpless prey in a room full of absolute apex predators. Section 2. A hostile boardroom encounter. Now the conflict really ignites. Our antagonist, Uncle Richard, tries to leverage his age and all those boardroom politics to just crush the young heir. He goes straight on the offensive, barking at the room. This is a joke. He's 10. He can't inherit Vanguard Industries. Uncle Richard is openly scoffing at him. He's trying to completely invalidate Ethan's claim to the company with this rapid-fire, aggressive attack, heavily leaning on the fact that, well, Ethan is a child, hoping to sway everyone else against him. And Richard doesn't stop at just throwing insults. He drops the ultimate corporate hammer: the board will vote to remove him immediately. He's trying to assert absolute dominance here, wanting to force an immediate vote to legally rip the company right out of Ethan's hands. Before the kid even gets a chance to speak, it's your classic heavy-handed corporate bullying tactic. Section 3. $40 million secret. But here is where things get truly fascinating. The power dynamic violently swings in the other direction, and the pacing actually slows down as Ethan begins his highly calculated counterattack. Instead of panicking or bursting into tears, Ethan just calmly opens that ordinary school notebook we talked about earlier and drops this brilliant retort. Actually, Uncle Richard, the majority shareholder cannot be voted out unless they commit a felony. Just like that, boom, he neutralizes the hostile takeover attempt. Notice the crazy tone shift here. Richard was loud, aggressive, mocking, but Ethan is composed, precise, and completely unfazed. The real kicker is how Ethan backs this up. He masterfully weaponizes a legal clause known as Article 9. This is a very specific stipulation in his grandfather's Will of Steel that protects the majority shareholder from being removed unless they commit a felony. Ethan isn't just whining, "No, you can't do that." He is laying out a highly precise legal trap for his uncle. He's proving he knows the corporate bylaws infinitely better than the adults in the room do. And then comes the knockout punch. $40 million. Ethan casually lets slip to the entire room that Uncle Richard secretly transferred $40 million to an offshore account the very night before. By dropping that massive number, Ethan doesn't just defend himself, he instantly corners his uncle, heavily implying that Richard is actually the one who committed a felony. Naturally, Uncle Richard starts sweating bullets, turns completely pale, and stammers out, "How did you know?" And Ethan, he just smiles and chillingly delivers the killing blow. "I own the bank, Uncle." Wow, it's such a triumphant moment. It reminds his uncle, and us, the audience, who actually pulls the global financial strings in this universe. In under a minute, the 10-year-old prey has revealed himself to be the absolute apex predator of the boardroom. Section 4. An explosive armed cliffhanger. But hey, the writer isn't done with us yet. Just when we think this corporate battle is wrapped up with a nice little bow and Ethan has won, the scene abruptly shatters all our expectations and radically raises the stakes. It all unfolds in 3 rapid beats. First, Ethan calmly tells his uncle, "Look out the window." Second, a panicked Richard sprints to the glass. And third, black SUVs suddenly pull up outside. The script masterfully pivots from a financial, intellectual checkmate inside the room to literal, physical danger outside in 3 unbelievably suspenseful moments. Then we get this absolutely crucial piece of information from the narrator. They aren't the police. As viewers, our immediate assumption is, oh, Ethan called the cops on his uncle for embezzling all that money. But by explicitly telling us these arrivals are not the authorities, the writer completely pulls the rug out from under us. It pushes the tension to an absolute breaking point. Things escalate in a flash. Armed men step out of those SUVs, and their weapons are pointed directly at the boardroom windows. In a single heartbeat, this scene completely shifts genres. We went from a tense, Succession-style corporate drama straight into a high-octane action thriller. Suddenly, all of Ethan's billions and clever legal protections mean absolutely nothing against loaded weapons aimed right at the glass. Which leaves us with this final, explosive question. Who on earth is in the black SUVs? Are they here for Richard? Are they here for Ethan? Or is this some third party altogether? It's the absolute perfect cliffhanger, and it brilliantly caps off our explainer today. By meticulously structuring these shifting power dynamics and insane genre twists, the writers leave you utterly desperate to know what happens next. Thank you so much for joining me for this breakdown. Hopefully, this closer look helps you appreciate the absolute masterclass in tension we just witnessed. I'll catch you next time.